Many women were never taught to trust themselves. They were taught to be good. They were taught to be nice, agreeable, accommodating. But over time, this leads to disconnection with themselves. They lose their voice, they lose their desires, and just this quiet disconnection and not really sure who they are. So in today's video, I'm going to share 3 factors about the good girl. First of all, what good girl conditioning actually is, the hidden cost of putting yourself not first and letting other ones leading the way, and what it looks like to actually reconnect back with yourself after this journey. All right, so if you've ever felt like you've kind of lost touch with yourself and you're always putting others first ahead of you, been the people pleaser, the good girl, this video may really resonate and be something you want to watch. So welcome, my name is Krista and welcome to my channel. And the reason that I feel like I can do this video and share this information with you is because I was the classic good girl, 100%. I was a card-carrying member, I would say. I was the good daughter, the good student, the good sibling, everything like that. And I I didn't even unconsciously know that this was something that I was doing. It is very unconscious. We kind of learn this at a very young age and we don't even realize it's happening. It's not until much later, the last few years, where I started to kind of look at this a little bit more. I used to believe that this was just the way I was. This was my personality. But over time, I've realized this was just an identity that I wore. And because I got stuff out of it as well, and I was unconscious to it for quite some time. So that's what I want to share with you today, because I feel like I can really speak to this topic. And I know there's plenty of other good girls out there like myself that are kind of waking up to this identity that I've always had and are wanting to shift this and wanting to change this and to step into a new identity. So again, that's what we're going to explore today too. So I want to share with you a quote, actually, just very, very brief about what a good girl is. It just kind of resonated with me, so I'm just going to read. It's 2 sentences, 2 lines, really. A good girl. You made an unconscious deal. If I suppress my needs, my anger, and my no, then I will be loved and I will be safe. You may become an expert at managing everyone else's emotions while swallowing your own. So I'm not sure if this makes sense to you, if this resonates with you as well too. It just kind of spoke to me and I wanted to share that little quote with you. So let's just start with kind of just unpacking what is a good girl and like what are some of the characteristics of a good girl. I would say for me, they're kind of being very agreeable. They are being responsible. I was a very responsible oldest child, oldest daughter. And very selfless and very accommodating. Just happy to take care of others. And on the surface, it probably looks like you're kind of a strong person. You're kind of taking care of business. And so that's kind of some of the definition of a good girl as well too. And like I said, my backstory with that, I was the oldest child. I was oldest daughter. And again, I was trained to be good. I did everything kind of the right way. I kind of was easygoing. She's a pleasure to have in class, all that kind of stuff growing up. And I realized, I started to realize the last few years that I was getting something out of this. And I was getting love, like everybody who doesn't love somebody that's good and easy, right? And also we get a little bit of praise with this too. Like, when you act good, people like you, and we're human beings. We always want to kind of have that praise as well too. So I probably would get praise for being good. I kind of avoided confrontations. I didn't have probably a whole lot of conflict because I just kind of shape-shifted. I kind of, did what I was kind of wanting. I didn't want to disappoint anybody. So I just kind of went along with this because I didn't want to have that confrontation or that conflict in my life. So I just kind of adhered, or I kind of diminished what I wanted to do or what I felt in favor of somebody else's emotions. All right. So these are some of the things that I kind of noticed in myself and how I would kind of, how I would fall into that kind of classic good girl type mentality as well, to that identity. So I'm not sure if you can kind of resonate, if some of this is kind of landing with you. So next I want to kind of travel into the hidden cost of being a good girl, because sometimes we don't really even think about that. Like, I didn't think about that before too. I never questioned it. I never questioned it. So there's some hidden cost of being the good girl. And first of all, it's losing your voice. You don't sometimes know even what is true for you, because you've kind of adopted other people's ideas or beliefs, or things. You just start to lose your voice. You might start to ignore your own needs. You might do everything, even though you're exhausted. You might run to help somebody else to, to do what they want you to do, because, you want to help them out, which, so sometimes you start to lose track of your own needs. You might have a difficult time making decisions. You don't even know what you want, what restaurant you want to go to, what you want to do, your next step. You feel stuck all the time. You just really have a hard time making decisions in your life, because you don't know what you want, really. You've kind of just disconnected, and you're not even sure about what you want anymore. So that's a common thing as well too. And like I said, yeah, disconnection from self is a big one. You don't know what it is you want, or your desires, your hobbies. You're just not sure anymore, because it's just been such a long process where you've really thought about what you wanted and what's true to me. So those are some of the hidden costs as well to you. And you become really good at kind of what other people want you to be, right? You become really good with that too. And, I probably over time, personal story for me too, sometimes I like to share some of these stories just so you can kind of see where I was coming from too. I would probably do things I didn't want to do. Spend time with people that I didn't really want to spend time with. I just kind of went with it. I probably was in situations that I didn't really want to do, but I kind of just did it because that's what I did, right? So these are ways of how it showed up for me as well too. And it's a bit of a slippery slope. There's a tongue twister. It happens very slowly. We slowly start to detach from ourselves, and we often don't even know it's happening. So those are ways of kind of some of the hidden costs, and how I kind of saw that show up in my life as well too. All right. And, so why does this happen? Why are so many women nowadays kind of waking up to this, that they are that good girl, the people pleasing women that they've become, and we're kind of unaware of it. So the conditioning is deep. First of all, like, give ourselves grace. We've been conditioned to be this way. Most of this happened, before we were 7, we got praise. That was just the society we were born into. Depending obviously where you lived, what society you lived to, family structures, their family structures, you're praised again, and you're kind of modeled, conditioned to be a good girl, to be quiet, to be demure, to not express, not to be too much, to just to kind of adapt with everybody as well too. Again, we get praise for being good. That's very common, oh, you're a good girl. And as little girls, that's what we sometimes want to hear. So we just go with that as well too. And there's also a lot of safety in being approved. Like, we feel safe. And as a human being, safety really is kind of one of our number one requirements. So we do what makes us feel safe. We don't know any different. We just kind of feel safe. So this is what we do. So you sometimes learn over time that, being liked is more important than being true to yourself. And then we just kind of, as we grow, this patterning, this identity just grows with us as well too. Okay. So what happened? So the turning point, there was a turning point for me as well too, where I started to kind of see this and recognize this, and kind of just wanting to shift this as well too. And so I started to say no. I started to say no to things and to people and to situations that I didn't want to do. And over time, I would say there is some discomfort in this. It is uncomfortable, I'm not gonna lie. You say no to something, and you kind of have all these little sensations in your body come up, and you just have to kind of go with it, because it's right for you, but you can also kind of realize it feels different than what you've done before. And that's okay. It's okay. Also, there's guilt that will come up. Maybe You said no to, I don't know, hosting the family dinner that you've done forever. Everybody expects you to do this family dinner, and you just say, I don't want to do that anymore. We're going to do a new tradition, and there's a little bit of guilt that comes up, and but that's okay. It's okay. I want to normalize this for you. You will feel guilt. You will feel discomfort. You will feel a fear of disappointing others, because we don't want to disappoint others, right? So that is an emotion that's going to come up as well. So I just want to kind of share this with you. So when it does happen for you, you will know that it's normal and it's part of the process as well too. So those are some of the shifts that start to happen when you kind of start to kind of change your identity or try to shift out of that good girl identity. And so yeah, like I said, like I started to do that in the last few years, and I just started saying no unless I would take the time to kind of think if this is this right for me, and if it didn't feel right to me, then I was okay saying no. And it gets easier over time. It really does. Start small, but over time it becomes easier, and you're not betraying yourself. You're doing what works for you. We've kind of spent a lifetime, decades probably, of people pleasing and being the good girl, and it's time that we kind of do what's best for us. Like, it's okay. It's okay. And so again, old feelings will come up for me too. It still kind of happens here and there, but I'm navigating them much differently than I did a few years ago. So I just want you to be aware of that some of those feelings might come up when you start to make that shift as well too. And finally, like when you start to reclaim this non-good girl identity, you'll start to know some shifts. Your true authentic voice will come up. You will know what works for you and what does not work for you. All that conditioning, all those layers, it's like peeling back an onion. You'll get to the true who you are, and you will have a voice, and you will feel confident expressing that voice. And with that comes a lot of freedom, and it feels good in your body, and it's like you're coming back to yourself. So again, your true voice will come back. You'll start to exert your needs and what works for you, what are your needs. It's okay to say what you need. And it's time that we start to kind of share what our needs are. And like I mentioned before, your truth will come out when you start to do these, when you have your desires. And again, it's not becoming someone else. You're not becoming a new person. You're really kind of coming back to the person you once were before all that conditioning was kind of layered on top of you and ingrained on top of you and lived out your whole life. So it's really kind of getting back to yourself as well too. And I can tell you from personal shift to, like, those close to me have noticed the change in me as well too. They've seen the shift, and again, it's gradual. It's not like it happens overnight. It compounds. It's over time, but they can start to see the difference as well too. So if the classic good girl that I always was for all those years, if I kind of navigate this, anyone can as well too. All right. So yeah, I think it's an important topic. I think it's a really relevant topic, and I think it's a topic that so many women have experienced. So I wanted to highlight this. I wanted to kind of bring attention to this, because I think a lot of women are starting to wake up to this and are looking to kind of shift this as well too. So if I can be an example of someone that has kind of started one way and kind of shifted into a new direction, I wanted to give you this information, my wisdom, my insight, and if it resonates, great. So what else? I wanted to also just I'm gonna link another video in the description, I believe, to support this work. If this is something that you'd like to kind of add a little bit something to, it's a video that I did previously, and what is it called? Why you can't hear yourself and how to hear yourself again too. So that will be able to kind of zone into your inner guidance to hear those little messages, so that you'll be able to kind of guide yourself back as well too. All right. So again, if you need help with this, you can certainly reach out. I have a link in the description. And again, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate your support, and I will see you in the next video. Have a lovely day. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.